Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's newspaper. First of all, I want to make a small announcement. We are going to provide free live classes today and tomorrow, guys. And if you want to attend those classes, please do download our Rathods IAS app from the Play Store and please do log in with your mobile number. Before starting the class, you will be getting a notification at least 5 to 10 minutes ahead, guys. So that you can join that class without any late. Okay. And now let us see the topics of the day. The first topic it is about Indian Coast Guard. So this time in UPSC prelims, you may expect a prelims based question related to this Indian Coast Guard, and I'll tell you why and how you can expect the question from that topic. And next topic is Karnataka to begin 27 crore cloud seeding initiative soon. So here you have to see about what is this cloud seeding is about. On this cloud seeding, already UPSC asked question twice. And next topic is US sanctions for India-based firms over Iran imports. Here you have to see what are those tariffs is about, why US is imposing tariffs on India, what will be the economic impact on India. And next topic is Minister seeks fundamental shift in fight against drought. So recently COP17 of UNCD had been done in Mongolia. So here in that international convention, India came up with a guide related to protection of grasslands in our country. So in that point of view, you have to see what are the statements given by our minister regarding the protection of grasslands. And next topic is H1N1 makes up nearly 98% of influenza A cases in India. So here again you have to revise about H1N1 virus, and this article is saying that mostly we can see this H1N1 cases in our country. Because of this, you can expect a question related to H1N1 in your prelims. And next topic is end the culture of secrecy in judicial appointments. You know about how this judicial appointments will happen in our country, especially related to Supreme Court and High Court. We have a system called as collegium system. And the major problem in this collegium system is there is lack of transparency. Now this article is saying that we have to end this culture and we have to increase transparency in this judicial appointments. This topic is very important from prelims and as well as mains. Okay, see this image guys, what this image is telling about. So have you seen what is this orange color wala? That is, have you seen this? Whenever we are having the cruise ships, commercial ships which will move in the water, like cargo ships which will carry like tons of material or goods in them, they will be having this, what is this orange color boat? No idea. Yes, it is called as lifeboat. Lifeboat is nothing but what happens if there is any emergency, the crew members which are there in that big commercial ship, they will enter into this, and what happened, they will try to save their life. It is like life jacket, it is called as lifeboat. So actually what happened here is recently one boat had been sank near the coast of India. So what happened if that boat had been shipped or commercial ship had been sunk into the water, this lifeboat obviously it will be floating. So now this lifeboat is floating, and here you can see there is one more boat which is helping the people who are in that lifeboat. So these people are Coast Guard. So actually we have seen lots of articles related to Indian seafarers who had been stranded because of Strait of Hormuz issue, because of Bab el Mandab issue, and we know even 2 of Indian commercial ships had been attacked in this Red Sea region. Yes. So because of this all interconnected issues, you may get a question on maritime security, how we are ensuring maritime security. And recently India and Japan also signed an agreement related to increasing of maritime security. Are you understanding? Can you connect these all points? Strait of Hormuz blockade, Bab el Mandab issue, there is attack on Indian ships and many Indian seafarers had been stranded, and again there is commercial ship which had been sunken in this Indian Ocean region, and now Coast Guard came into rescue. And day before yesterday we discussed one article related to India-Japan Maritime Agreement. So because of all these things, for sure in mains you may get about a question related to how we are focusing on increasing maritime security. What are the steps taken by the government recently? On this UPSC can give you a mains question. And next one is who will provide maritime security in the waters of India? we have Indian Coast Guard, and we have Indian Navy. On these two also UPSC can ask you a question, and this is talking about especially Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard recovered an empty lifeboat during the search for seafarers from the cargo ship, and the name of that ship is MV Ocean Winner, which sank off Odisha coast. So because of this it is in news, and you have to know about what is some facts regarding this Indian Coast Guard. How you can get a question? The first type of question is, consider the following statements regarding Indian Coast Guard, and under that it can give you 2 to 3 statements, and it may ask you about identifying incorrect or correct statements. That is the first format. And second format of question you can expect here is, consider the following functions, which of the above functions are done by Indian Coast Guard. Okay, like that they may give you about functions of ICG. And third type of format of question is, we have Indian Coast Guard, we have Indian Army, we have Indian Navy, we have Air Force, and even we have Central Armed Power Forces. It can take any 4, and it can ask you about which ministry it will come under. Like that they may give you box format of question. That is seen in 2025 and 2024 formats of UPSC. So in all these ways you have to be well prepared. This time Army, Navy and Indian Coast Guard, you may get a question on it, guys. Okay, now let us see some facts related to ICG, that is Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard established in 1978 under Coast Guard Act of 1978. Please make a note here. So this ICG, Indian Coast Guard, established by an act. Name of that act is Coast Guard Act of 1978. And it is an independent armed force of India. It is India is having the 4th largest coast guard in the world. So here your work is, you have to see which country is having the largest coast guard. First, second, third, and India's place is 4th. And next one here is, what is the role of this Indian Coast Guard? It will focus on improving of security of maritime zones in India. And what are its functions? The first one is, it will focus on prevention of smuggling. It may be smuggling of arms, it may be smuggling of drugs, it may be drug trafficking, human trafficking, whatever it may be. The first one is, it will prevent smuggling through this maritime routes. And next one here is, it is having jurisdiction over territorial waters, including contiguous zone and exclusive economic zone. So whenever you study about geography, if you're talking about land borders, yes, wherever the land is there, we can easily demarcate land border. But it is not the same with maritime borders, because we cannot draw border in this water. So there we will follow which law? UNCLOS. UNCLOS, what is the full form? UNCLOS, United Nations Convention of Law of Seas. It says that whenever we are having the coast, till 12 nautical miles from baseline, it comes under internal water. And like that we have different zones. So you have to see which are those zones. We have, if you see, if it is a baseline, the water inside it is internal water. From here 12 nautical miles, the water is called as territorial water. From here 12 nautical miles, it is called as what? Contiguous zone. And from here till 200 nautical miles, it comes under exclusive economic zone. So till this exclusive economic zone, this country's jurisdiction will apply. Okay, for this Indian Coastal Guard, the jurisdiction will there for territorial water, and till this exclusive economic zone, it can protect the security in this water. So on this UNCLOS and on this areas, UPSC asked question in 2024 prelims. That will be dealt in your geography class, and even in your IR class also. Sandeep sir will be dealing with that, and he will be also giving, he will also make you to draw diagram in your class, don't worry. But you have to remember this: what is territorial water, what is contiguous zone, what is exclusive economic zone, and what is internal water. Because UPSC already asked question 2024. If you see PYQs, for sure you will come across this question. Okay, next one here is, next important function here is, it will also help civil authority, especially what happens if there is any floods or any cyclones or any tsunami. At that time, whatever the civil people, that is nothing but whoever the civilians are working as volunteers or NGOs or local police forces or armed forces, whoever providing this rescue services, for them also this Coast Guard will be helping to come out of the disaster. Recently here Coast Guard also helped this Maharashtra, Karnataka and as well as Goa from the floods. And next one here is it will also focus on providing maritime security. And as you all know that recently piracy was there in Indian Ocean region, and Indian ship had been hijacked by this pirates of Yemen. I think I discussed this topic on Friday or Saturday, I guess. In Saturday, I made one video recording just by screen recording. On that day, the first article is about this piracy only. I don't know whether you can recall or not. Recently, Indian ship had been under hijack by these pirates of Yemen and Eritrea. So in that also, this Coast Guards will be helping that kind of issues so that it can provide maritime safety and security for our Indian ships which are moving in this Indian Ocean region. And we have a program called as Sagar program. The full form of this Sagar is Security and Growth for All in the Region and Neighborhood First Policy. On this Sagar program, there was a mains question 2026 from IR. Recently in IR, there was a question on this Sagar. So if you are getting that kind of terminologies in news, for sure you need to know about it. So under this Sagar, what it is focusing here is, we are focusing on improving of safety and security, and whatever the countries which are part of this Indian Ocean region, we are going to improve their bilateral ties, and even we are going to provide whatever the help they need. It is part of neighborhood first policy of India. And this one here is obviously it will help in disaster management. And whenever there is any disaster in the waters, like you know about 2004 tsunami, India hit badly at that kind of tsunamis if India is facing, or if that kind of disasters that is facing by India from this water side, obviously Coast Guard will be the first responder in that kind of disasters. So these are the major functions of this Indian Coast Guard. Okay, now let us see next article. Say this, Karnataka to begin 27 crore cloud seeding initiative soon. So here how you can get a question, consider the following statements regarding cloud seeding. Under that UPSC can give you 2 to 3 statements. And second one here is, which of the chemicals are used for cloud seeding, and it is 2025 prelims based question. I showed you earlier, I don't know whether you can recall it or not. Already I showed you the question related to 2025. So what is this phenomenon of cloud seeding? Why we need this cloud seeding? It is nothing but artificial rain phenomena. Already you know this time we have super El Nino, there is rainfall deficit and even delayed rainfall in our country. Yes, normally on June 1st this monsoon winds has to hit Kerala coast, but this time it had been June 4th, and even the rainfall deficit of 40% in the month of July. Yes, and now in August at least we are seeing somewhat good rainfall compared to that of earlier months. But overall we can see there is a rainfall deficit in our country. Because of that, what happens? Obviously Indian economy is mainly based on agriculture and service sector, and mostly agriculture in our India is rain fed agriculture. If monsoon deficit happen means obviously our agriculture productivity will be reduced. If agriculture productivity is reduced, can we ensure food security? For sure no. For that region, different state governments are planning for this artificial rain phenomena, that is nothing but cloud seeding. Clear? Karnataka is facing deficit monsoon and it is set to take up cloud seeding for overcoming this water scarcity problem, and they are spending around 27 crore rupees on this cloud seeding. So what they will do under this cloud seeding? They will take aircraft and they will fill with chemicals. Which chemicals they will use? Sodium iodide and potassium iodide, even dry ice they can use, and they will spray in the atmosphere. And they will be acting as condensation nuclei, and whatever the humidity which is present in air, that will touch the condensation nuclei and that will form clouds. And what happens slowly that clouds will become heavier and they will cause rainfall. This is the phenomenon of artificial rain. Okay, so they may ask you about process of this cloud seeding. And next one is applications, where we can use this cloud seeding. So where we can use this cloud seeding? Only for this controlling of water security? No. So not only for water purpose, we can use it for drought, we can use it for controlling of pollution. Yes, especially in Delhi also, last time they used this cloud seeding to control pollution. Like that, you have to make a list of what are the applications of this cloud seeding. Already UPSC asked, reduce forest fires also, we can do that. Next here, what you have to say is, already UPSC asked question on chemicals. Again, chemicals based question may not be asked. This time, if they are asking question on cloud seeding, they may ask you about applications, they may ask you about the process. These two that you have to see. And if at all, if UPSC is asking question in mains, what they'll ask, what is cloud seeding, why it is in use, what is the process and applications. Like that, they may give you in detail mains based question on this cloud seeding in GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Clear? Yeah, now let us see the next article. Say this title, US sanctions for India based firms over Iran imports. Okay, so what is this article talking about? US is imposing tariffs on Indian firms. Indian firms is nothing but Indian based companies which are importing Iran goods. So what is the story that you know so far? Why US is imposing tariffs on India? What is the reason? You know, issue is going on between US versus Iran, issue is going on, and you know these two countries are in war. That is an old story. So now US is head of which organization? NATO, full form of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Recently, what happened in NATO? NATO meeting, where it happened? In Turkey. What is that place? Ankara. Yes, recently in place of Ankara in Turkey, meeting of NATO happened. And that is called as Ankara Declaration. There are 4 important points. Yes or no? We discussed long back, I know, but it is difficult to recall also. But one important point here is, we want to support Ukraine. And we want to stop this Ukraine-Russia war. That is a one important major point. To stop this Russia-Ukraine war, what happened? They have to impose sanctions on Russia, right? In the same way, if they want to stop war with Iran also, they want to hit economically on Iran also. So after this Ankara summit, what they came up here is Russia-Iran Sanction Act. Can you recall this? After this Ankara summit, the one important point here is they want to stop Russia-Ukraine war. For that, they want to hit economically Russia. In the same way, if they want to stop war with US, obviously they have to hit economically Iran. So they put these two together and they came up with this Russia-Iran Sanction Act. And what they said, if any country is importing goods from Russia or Iran, we are going to impose up to how much percent? Up to 100% tariffs on the countries which they are importing goods from Iran and as well as Russia. So from Iran we are importing goods, yes or no? So which are the goods we are importing? We are importing petroleum, we are importing petrochemical products. So whatever the companies which are importing this petroleum and petrochemicals, on these 4 companies US impose sanctions. Is that title clear? Yes? Okay. And now let us see one more important thing that you have to make a note. So till now we know this story, Russia and Iran Sanction Act, which passed by US, and it said that if any country is importing these goods from Iran, on which we will impose up to 100% tariff. But recently there is one news in the yesterday news, one news here is US came up with economic D-Day. Please make a note. Economic D-Day policy. US came up with economic D-Day policy and US said that we want to completely make this economy of Iran to go into zero level. We want to curtail economy of Iran in all the ways. whatever the ways Iran is getting income, we want to cut all those things. So if we are cutting all those things, obviously economic crisis will happen for Iran. So that what happen? It will be affecting this war. And they said that majorly we will impose maximum tariffs on 5 sectors, and those 5 sectors are: one is gold, one is shipping, one is aviation, one is petroleum. Like that they gave 5 areas. And if countries which are importing the goods in these sectors, they will be getting tariffs. And finally, US imposed tariffs on Indian goods. Now you guys have to think, what will be the impact of US tariffs on India? Is that good or bad for India? Of course it is bad for India. So what kind of negative impacts we can see because of US tariffs on India? Think guys, on this, in this way you may get application based questions in your prelims. What are the possible impacts of US tariffs on India because of Russia-Iran Sanction Act? Like that they may give you 2 to 3 statements, and under that it may give you which of the above correct or incorrect. Come on guys, tell me. Reduced MSME contribution to GDP. Next. 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 Okay, right, try to make a note of this impact case. On this way you may get a question. Okay, today's mains question I will be giving you on that. Yesterday I forgot to give a case study. Yesterday's case study and today's question I will give you. Smell vastunda? Okay, see this guys. Read the title. Minister seeks fundamental shift in fight against drought. This is very important article and keep star mark. You may get a question on UNCCD conference. And this time COP17 is going on in Mongolia. Please make a note. How you can get a question is, if there is any conference or convention which is going on, which is of international importance, like we have UNCCD, we have UNFCC, we have CBD, like that. If we are having this conference of parties, UPSC will ask a question on it because you are writing the same prelims for Indian Forest Service. Okay. So now this 17th COP is going on in this Mongolia. So in this 17th conference, our government came up with a releasing of guide. Because of this, it is much more important this time, and you may get a question on guide of India which had been announced in UNCCD in Mongolia. Okay. And next type of question you can expect here is, consider the following statements regarding UNCCD. Many a times UPSC directly asked question on UNCCD. And now India released a guide. Because of this, on this guide also UPSC can ask you a question. You have to be very careful and you have to keep star mark. And whoever writing exam in 2027, for sure 100% you can expect a question on this topic. Okay, now let us see about this topic. India launched its first ever guide related to grasslands and other open natural ecosystems in 17th COP. COP is nothing but Conference of Parties of UNCCD. What is full form of UNCCD? United Nations Convention on Combat Desertification. So actually the major problem we are facing now is desertification. Why? Because of climate change, less rainfall, increasing of droughts, spreading of what is happening? Deserts is happening. So because of this, we have an international organization which will be focusing on controlling of deserts. That is called as UNCCD. And recently meeting happened, that is 17th meeting of this UNCCD. In that meeting, India announced the guide to protect grasslands and other natural ecosystem. Because of this, it is in news. Okay, now let us see what is this guide is about. The first one here is, this guide documents India's grasslands. Where are India's grasslands are located, and even savannas, deserts, scrublands, ravines, rocky plateaus, and whatever the open natural ecosystem is there. So on that, India gave a detailed document to UNCCD. And next important point here is, what are those grasslands covers? They covered Himalayan and Terai grasslands. They covered Thar and Bunny landscapes, Deccan savannas, Aravalli scrublands, Yamuna Chambal ravines, Western Ghats rocky plateaus, Central Nicobar grasslands, and Tamil Nadu's grasslands. So all these areas are the ecosystems which are covered in this guide. So how you can get a question? Consider the following. Which of the above are covered under India's first ever guide of grasslands and open natural ecosystems? Like that, they may give like this, and you have to identify them. And next one here is, they are also focusing on correcting wasteland perception. Till now, whatever the grasslands, whatever the ravines are there, we consider that they are wastelands. But this guide is saying that they are not, the wastelands. These are the lands which don't have trees, but these are the grasslands which are providing livelihood for millions of people who depend on this pastoralism. That is the thing which mainly said they also having ecological and economic value. And next one here is, in this guide, India proposed that we can focus on improving of land degradation assessment, and even we can support India's land degradation neutrality targets. And if you are restoring these areas, obviously this will contribute a lot for our Indian economy. And this one is, they said that we can also collaborate with different stakeholders so that we can improve these areas. And next point they said here is, these areas are ecologically very important because they have rich in biodiversity. In these grasslands, we can see deers, we can see great Indian bustard, we can see animals like lesser florican, Bengal florican, we can see Indian wolf, black bucks, etc. So these areas are also economically rich. They are not at all the wastelands. And this one here is, these areas which also provides lots of livelihood for the people, like livestock based livelihood, and it will provide livelihood for agriculture communities, and even it will provide long standing community based management, etc. So it will also provide livelihood opportunities for the people. And next one here is, they also said that this platform will be focusing on how to ensure this open ecosystems. And even because of this kind of guide which came up by India, it will also showcase the strength, and as well as it will also showcase the leadership of India for this global south. So like that, there are lots of points here. You have to see what are these points about and what is significance of it. And see this article guys, H1N1 makes up nearly 98% of influenza A cases in India. This article is talking about H1N1. Already we discussed this topic and I gave you the notes, so just revise this topic once guys. And many a times you may get a question, and UPSC asked question on diseases which are there in news in match the following format, or consider the following statements regarding H1N1 influenza virus, or else it can give you pair based questions also. You have to be very careful. And next topic here is root causes. This article is saying about India's youth crisis is about the absence of jobs, not examination reform. You know about recent agitations of students. Students, they started protest because of NEET paper leak. Yes, you know what is this protest and what is Chalo Sansad movement, what government did, everything is like an old story. So now recently what happened, students also demanded for the resignation of education minister, and finally union education minister also resigned. And after that we celebrated Independence Day. In Independence Day speech, what our prime minister said, we are going to reform examination system. Yes or no? And even NEET examination paper will be conducted by now who? Earlier it is conducted by NTA, but now, very good guys. Who will conduct this NEET exam now? Intakmundi NTA, but what is the current affairs? Who will conduct now? And what is the different mode? Shh. Ah. Check once guys, who is going to conduct this NEET exam and what are the changes in this NEET exam which will be conducted from the next time. So how many times this NEET exam is conducted in a year? Once, huh? NEET UG or NEET PG? UG. PG? NEET రాయలే ఎవరు ఇక్కడ? రాయలే, రాసినావా? అప్పుడు వేరు ఇప్పుడు వేరు. Check once guys. So how many times NEET is conducted for UG and PG? UG and undergraduation, PG and post graduation. This NEET exam is for medical sciences, kada? And who is going to conduct this examination? What are the reforms came up by the government? So check once. If there are any major reforms taken by the government, for sure, on which UPSC can ask you a mains question. Next time in 2027 mains, you can get a question on this examination reforms. So now, they found one committee, and committee highlights చూసుకోండి ఒకసారి. What recommendations they gave ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి. Sorry. Okay, see here. So this article is saying that whatever the crisis which is faced by Indian youth, yesterday only we discussed about PLFS data. Unemployment rate is very high between 18 years to 29 years, and it is how much percentage according to PLFS? 19? 14.9 percentage for 18 to 29 years. And who did this tertiary education? There is 29% of unemployment rate, that is said by this PLFS survey. That means in India, youth is facing a lot of problems because of unemployment. So now government said that we are going to change examinations. Yes, but this article is saying that it is not just examination reform, it is because of absence of jobs. It is because of absence of jobs, there is increased unemployment rate, but not because of examination reforms. That is the thing which mainly said. And now we have to see on this point, guys. Okay, so you know about background, recent youth protest, Cockroach Janata Party, NEET paper leak, resignation of our education minister, and government also responded by promising examination reforms, and even in independent speech also free online coaching for competitive examinations, and even government said that we are focusing on improving of digital public infrastructure. So all these things which are said here, but this article is saying that it is not just the need of examination reform, we need to increase asal jobs. First of all, we need to increase the jobs, then only we can address this problem of youth. Okay, this article is saying that which kind of policy we need here is we need to have a clear shift in government strategy. So government has to invest in industrial capacity. We have to increase industries, and we have to support industry linked to export performance. If industries are increasing more and more exports, the production will increase. If production is increased, they need more number of people to work in that industry. And next one is we have to focus on enterprise friendly regulatory approach. So actually what is happening in countries like Vietnam is they are very much successful in export oriented industrialization. Because of this export oriented industrialization, that led to creation of large scale employment. Because of this, you are not facing this problem of unemployment in this country like Vietnam. We can take down the case study of Vietnam and we can implement in our country, so that we can focus on creating of huge or large scale employment opportunities in our country without addressing the job deficit. Even if you are focusing on perfect examination system, that will leave lots of educated youth without employment opportunities. That is this idea. I don't know whether you will accept this or not. So if you have any other suggestions, please do make the suggestions in your notes. Okay, next topic is end the culture of secrecy in judicial appointments. Whatever you have studied in your polity, everything is clearly given in this first entire in this row. So what they gave here is, you know about collegium system. Is that collegium system present in our constitution? How did it evolve? Through judges cases. First judge case, second judge case, third judge case, and fourth judge case. In between we have what is that NJAC. What is NJAC is about? What is the full form? National Judicial Appointment Committee. Which amendment act led to that? 99th Constitutional Amendment Act. Finally, it had been struck down. Why it had been struck down? What is the reason? What is that? Why this NJAC had been stuck down? Okay, so now again after this striking down of NJAC, we came back to collegium system again, and through that we are going for appointment and transfer of Supreme Court judges and High Court judges. The same thing which is going on now. What is the problem in this collegium system? There is lack of transparency. On which basis they are selecting the judges, recommending the names, we don't know. So because of this article is saying that we have to end this culture of secrecy by using this collegium system, and we have to come back with another system so that we can enhance transparency in the selection process and transfer process of judges of Supreme Court and High Court. So here where exactly you can use this article? In appointments of judges. You have to refer about collegium system, and you have to see what are the problems of collegium system and what is the way forward. So this article is about way forward. You have to think about what is the way forward of this increasing of transparency in appointment of judges case. Already you know this topic, because of that I am just giving you an overview. So just you have to think on these lines. I think sir also gave question on this collegium system. Okay, see this prelims questions case. The first one is with reference to collegium system in India. There are 4 statements. See this. First one is collegium system is explicitly mentioned in the Constitution of India. Supreme Court collegium is headed by Chief Justice of India. Collegium recommends appointments and transfer of judges of higher judiciary. Union government has no role whatsoever in the appointment of judges under collegium system. First one is for sure wrong. If there is any statement says explicitly mentioned, 99% will be wrong. So one you can eliminate. You have 2 options left. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 2, 3, 2, 3 and 4. See this. Union government has no role. Because of that only, no. The issue which is going on related to transparency. Yes. That means this statement is also wrong. So answer is B. See this next one guys. Which of the following functions of the Coast Guard? Search and rescue, prevention of smuggling, protection of offshore installations, marine pollution response, conduct all naval warfare operations. Select the correct answer. Search and rescue will be there. One should be there. Prevention of smuggling, it should be there. Protection of offshore installation, yes, it should be there. Marine pollution, yes, it will be there. All naval. If it is doing all naval, then what is the purpose of Indian Navy? We have Indian Navy also, right? So this 5 will be wrong. Answer will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, try to use just common sense and apply why it is not. Okay, then you can solve these questions. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and please to share this video to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Thank you guys.